closer. Next thing I know, you were in my t-shirt. Ooh, you look just so dang hot in my t-shirt. You see you spinning around in my t-shirt. Right there, your hair messed up.
Good evening and welcome to Federico Field here at Cascade High School as the Henley Hornets take a trip up to Turner for the final game of their non-league slate. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. Should be an exciting game, Kevin, as both teams come into this matchup unbeaten. We will break down each team and hear from Henley head coach Alex Stork in our pregame. That's on the other side of this break. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
That you want it, but it ain't with me. Church. Family.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face. I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Religiously.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So it's right here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Events page at mybasin.com. There is a ton going on this
Welcome
weekend
back to
in the Klamath
Federico
Basin.
Field as we are just about 10 minutes away
it all
from
out for
kickoff.
yourself is to
Henley
get the information
facing the
on the events
Cascade
page
Cougars,
at
taking a look
mybasin.com. Then
at
you'll know
how these
everything's
teams
going
fared
on.
last week.
And you
Cascade
can plan your
played
weekend
at
accordingly.
Sweet Home in their league
Yeah.
opener.
And
They
if you
won
have an
42 to
event,
nothing.
Go
They were
to
up 28-0
mybasin.com.
at
Hover
halftime.
where
Meanwhile,
it says
Henley
events and then
hosted
click on submit
Ashland
your
in their
event.
league opener.
Put all the
They won
information in there.
46 to
Include
15.
a flyer
They were up
if you can.
27-7 at
Get a
halftime.
scan of a flyer,
That's
put
the
that in there
third
too.
straight
Take a
game
picture
Henley
of a flyer,
put the
whatever
running
you gotta
clock on
do.
their opponent and
We'll
didn't
get all
play
of
the
it up on our
starters in the
website
fourth
so the
quarter,
whole
Kevin.
community can learn about it there.
Yeah,
And
both
from
these
us
teams can score the football.
here on the radio.
And, Henley has shown that they can really get that
Get it
offense.
to mybasin.com on the events page. Klamath Falls, the Backyard Butchers are here with 20 ribeyes or 2 pounds of crab legs for $39. Look for the big white truck in the parking lot at Coastal Farm and Ranch. Stock up and save on bulk meat specials, beef, chicken, and seafood, and register to win $300 in steak.
We'll take another break. Coming up next, we'll hear from Henley head coach Alex Stork.
Yes.
Matt Bowling here alongside
Look for the
Kevin
big white
Petrik.
truck
You're listening
right
to
now
Henley
at Coastal
Football
Farm
on
and Ranch.
104.3
Visit
and 960
backyardbutchers.com to find all locations and info.
mybasin.com.
Backyardbutchers.com. Cash, credit, debit, EBT accepted. What's cooking? Well, if you're a line cook and have an appetite for adventure.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, the retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
The Basin, and they need your...
In COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it. But the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
Day wrap-up with Jay Davis.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
I don't know how, but I scraped up the money. I just never could quite tell you no. Just like when you were leaving Amarillo, take that new job in Tennessee. And I quit mine so we could be together. I can't forget the way you looked at me.
Welcome back to Federico Field. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. Had a chance to catch up with Henley head coach Alex Stork before this game. Let's hear what he had to say about the matchup.
I never count the cost. It's worth all that's lost. Just to see you smile. You said time was all you really needed. I walked away and let you have your space. Oh, leaving didn't hurt me near as badly as the tears I saw rolling down your face. And yesterday I knew just what you wanted when you came walking up to me with him. So I told you that I was happy for you, and given the chance I'd like in just to see
not corporate. At Clown Falls Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Clown Falls Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, lot attendants, and detail experts are all 100% focused on you. Local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Clown Falls Subaru, that's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events through the Subaru Love Promise. That's the kind of people they are. We're very proud of them. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're glad to know you, and they want you to be glad to know them too. I'm Rob, and this is what makes us comfortable.
Clock it out, about to kick off the weekend. There's a stretch of black top, I ain't never seen a cop, so I'm pushing it a little past 10. Pulled a little money from the bank, put it in a tank, shined up the windshield glass. Don't know where the night might lead, ain't nowhere to be, but I gotta get there fast. There's a cold beer calling my name, feel a good time coming, got a new song humming, and the sunset's doing this thing. Feeling lucky as a 7, yeah, sometimes heaven is a pocket full of payday green. And my baby putting sugar on me, yeah, it's sure been a pretty damn good day. And there's a cold beer calling my name, yeah. Woo. Come on!
If there's a hillbilly rock show, I'll be in the front row holding up a red big flame. Or wrap around porch with a citronella torch. Yeah, you know I'm down either way. There's a chance that tonight might be the night that we I ain't ever gonna forget. Yeah, everybody's turning it up. I got a little buzz and I ain't even had one yet. There's a cold beer calling my name. Feel a good time coming, got a new song humming in the sunset.
Welcome back to Federico Field. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. We are just about a minute and a half away from kickoff here. Captain's currently meeting at center field. You heard from head coach Alex Stork just moments ago before we broke for the national anthem. You look, he talked about two big things, Kevin, the tradition of Cascade and the line of scrimmage. Well, tradition certainly is something that they've established recently. Two-time state champions in football, 1980 and 2015, but other sports, they've had a remarkable run of success over the past couple years, especially in the 2021-22 school year when Cascade volleyball, softball, and boys basketball all brought home state titles. Boys basketball won it again last year to go back-to-back. So certainly a lot of tradition here.
Yeah, this is my first time here at Turner, and I've heard about the tradition here. Let me tell you something, I am impressed. Standing room only tonight. You know, these fans are serious. Wherever we go, of course, the fans are into the game, but they are serious fans here. They have a band. The stands are completely full.
I can't wait to see you.
They know about Logan Whitlock, and they know about high-ranked Henley, and everyone is here to see it. So we have the stage set for quite a game tonight.
Not only that, but it's the home opener for the Cougars, so this should be a pretty intense atmosphere. And several media outlets have also called this a prove-it game for Cascade, so likely going to be a very motivated team. As you alluded to, they know all the the hype that Henley has been getting.
Sure.
And briefly, sorry to cut you off, but briefly, as they get lined up to kick off, I want to touch on the line. This Cascade line has not one but two players listed at 6'3", 300 pounds. It might end up being the toughest matchup of the season for Henley in the trenches.
Yeah, Coach Clark's been talking all season about good line play. Definitely be challenged tonight. I think that this game, more than anything we've seen so far, I think the team gets off to a good start is going to have an advantage. Both these teams score a lot of points. Anybody who can get that first turnover, kind of get the ball, get the momentum going in their direction, I think that will definitely help them tonight.
So Nolan Abrams getting set to kick off for Cascade, who are in their all blacks. Henley in their road whites with the yellow pants. And we are underway. Abrams boots it down to the 10, where it's fielded by Logan Whitlock. And he's run down immediately, just barely getting past the 20.
Yeah, Braden Johnson made a nice tackle there for the Cougars. And Henley will trot out their offense for their first possession of the ball game.
Couple billion in the world, baby, you're the only girl in that picture in my pocket on my cell phone.
So first and 10, Henley starting from their own 23. Two receivers on either side. They hand it to Whitlock. He goes right up the middle and gets to the 30. Nice early gain from Logan Whitlock. And last year against Cascade, he ran for 161 yards and 3 touchdowns on 17 carries.
Do you ever miss being alone? I said, hell no, I don't. She said, do you really think I'm where you belong?
They come out in the same formation.
I said, you know, and I know you're perfect.
And comes in motion.
Everything I'll ever need, I ain't playing.
Whitlock breaks left side.
When I got what I got, I don't miss what
that was good pursuit that time by the right side Cascade defense. Just a short game. That'll bring up a third down for the Hornets. They haven't seen many of these. They usually do pretty well on first and second down. You tested there with a third and about 4.
Same formation.
I said, baby, do you know you sound a little crazy?
Third and 4. Janney drops back to pass. He's under pressure, zips one over the middle and drops it right in the bucket. Up to the 50. Quite see who caught that ball.
That was Montag. That was a nice throw. See that on the line. Bryson did a little post route, caught that ball right in the seam, right at midfield. Good gainer for the Hornets.
Montag hasn't caught a pass since the season opener against Seaside.
Nicely done right there.
Comes up big here to get the Hornets to midfield on their opening drive. 10:24 to go in the first quarter. Really liking this formation with 2 receivers on either side. Whitlock fumbles. And Cascade's got it. That is a major early miscue for Henley.
We talked about that a little bit. The team with a good start is going to be at an advantage. Cascade ends up with the football after a rare Henley turnover. They've been pretty good taking care of the football this year so far. Cascade will take over at the 49.
Come out. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. It's a quarterback keeper on the first play, and Nolan Abrams gets down to about the 45. They'll call it the 46 of Henley. 2nd and 5.
Kyle Nichols been a nice stop there. First one with the ball carrier.
It's the sound of freedom. We salute
now they come out. 2 to the right, 1 to the left.
92.5 KLAD.
Bryce Kenzie in the backfield with Abrams.
On tag with the tackle. Anundi with the catch for Cascade, and it's up for a first down. Cascade mixing it up a little bit. Going with the run and the pass here on this first drive.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. Short run down to the 35. We'll call it a gain of about 3.
Maybe I'm just wishful thinking. Give my heart something to sink in. Better make it to nothing I won't do for another round of me and you.
2nd and 7. Cascade in no hurry here. They're just now breaking the huddle. They go trips left, 1 to the right. Abrams back to throw. Quick throw. Gets it over to Bryce Kenzie, or Sandy rather, Karsten Sandy, and that's going to go for no gain.
Nice play by the defense. That's what Henley wants. Get their opponent in 3rd and long, and we'll see how Cascade handles this. Just underway here in the first quarter, 8.5 minutes to go.
3rd and 7. 1 receiver on either side, 2 in the backfield with Abrams. Handoff goes to Kenzie, and he gets down to the 30. He'll be short of the first down, so we'll see what Cascade decides to do here.
Yeah, this is our first big play of the night. This is a big play. 4th and a couple, and the ball's just inside
the marker. The marker still says 2nd down.
I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
We'll get that figured out.
Looks like they are going to go for it here. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Handoff, Kenzie, and he has the first down.
It's a nice run there. Good power run for the Cougars. They want to try to establish that like any team would. And the Hornet defense on its heels a little bit. 1st and 10 for the Cougars, just outside the 25.
Abrams hands off. A little end around for Hawkins. Hawkins in trouble and bottled up. I don't believe that will be a gain.
Hawkins on the run, no gain for the Cougars.
Yeah, they'll call it no gain, maybe a gain of a few inches. Still 2nd and 10.
We've seen this Henley defense do this quite a bit. They'll give up a chunk, and then they'll be tough, but whatever they do, they just haven't given up points. So we'll see if they can stick to that trend here tonight. Defense played very well the first 3 games.
Trips right, to the left, quick pass.
Anundi on the catch over there. We've called his name a couple of times for Cascade. And defensive backs playing a little deep, giving up that short stuff in the passing game. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 3.
Third and 2, handoff.
A good penetration from the Hornets. Whitlock looked like he was in there among other people, and it's just short. Another 4th down. Coming up, 4th and about a yard. Hornets that time did a nice job getting through that first initial thrust from the line. See if they can do it again on 4th and 1.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. Handoff. Did he get there?
Boy, that's going to be close. That's just a...
They may have to bring the chains out for that one.
Everybody knew that was going. Now just a quarterback sneak, and it wasn't enough. Well, I thought
they're going to say first down.
You know what? One official signaled the other way. My mistake. They did pick up enough. I didn't think they had that. It was close. But it was just enough, apparently. So Cascade will get a first down and 10 with the ball at the Hornet 15. Marching the ball on their first possession here in the first quarter.
Handoff goes down inside the 10. Down to the 5 goes Bryce Kinsey. And with 4:43 to go in the first, Cascade knocking on the door.
That was a nice run. He had some shifty moves there. He went left to right a couple of times to shed some tacklers and then found his way almost down to the first down marker, just a yard short.
Handoff on second and, well, it's an interesting situation inside the 10, but it's 2nd and 1 down at the
first and goal for
down at the 7. Now it's 1st and goal as they needed only a gain a little bit.
That was a short gainer, but that was a great arm tackle by Thomas Bakke, showing his strength. He just stood up the back and threw him down. Unfortunately, he had picked up the first down, so it was a short gainer, but new set of downs for the Cougars.
First and goal from the 5. Pitch to Kenzie. Dodges some defenders and carries one in for the touchdown. And for the first time this season, Henley trails.
That was a nice run. He made some tacklers miss. Found his way to the end zone. Cascade leads 6-0 with the extra point coming.
Extra point is up and good, so it's a 7-0 lead for Cascade with 3:29 to go in the first quarter. We'll be right back. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Not corporate. At Clown Falls Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Clown Falls Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, lot attendants, and detail experts are all 100% focused on you. Local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Clown Falls Subaru, that's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events through the Subaru Love Promise. That's the kind of people they are. We're very proud of them. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're glad to know you, and they want you to be glad to know them too. I'm Rob, and this is what makes us comfortable.
Follow the Hornets all season long on mybasin.com.
Welcome back. Henley trailing for the first time this season, down 7-0 with 3:29 to go in the first quarter after a short touchdown run from Cascade.
We mentioned that momentum could be a factor here. Cascade, they got that quick turnover, kind of got momentum in their favor, went down and scored. They had a nice drive, showed some nice play calling, a couple of passes, some really good running from their back, and they took the lead 7-0. Henley's not surprised. They knew they were going to have to play a mistake-free game to handle this Cascade team, and there's still plenty of time. It's time for this offense to march down the field and get some points.
Kickoff fumbled, but recovered at the 15, and up to the 20 goes Luke Bennett.
Luke just mishandled that kickoff a bit. He had the sense to just kind of take his time, pick it up. He didn't cover the ball or go to a knee. Picked up the ball and was able to get a little bit back. So Henley will start now, 1st and 10 on their own 20.
3:23 to go. Hornets trailing 7-0, trying to answer. They fumbled on their first drive. They come out with two receivers on either side. Logan Whitlock on the right hip of Joe Janney. They give it to Whitlock. He goes right up the middle. Bounces outside. Whitlock to the 30 where he's brought down. He lost the ball again. Oh, my. Logan Whitlock fumbles for the second drive in a row.
That's not by accident. That first tackler, the first player to get to Logan that time, he didn't go so much for the tackle. He went for the football. And maybe that's something the defensive coaches saw on film. They might think it might be best to go for the ball, have that first player go for the ball, then the second one try to make the tackle, and it's worked for a couple of turnovers in their favor.
This is bad news for Henley. 3:17 to go in the first quarter, trailing 7-0. They've just given the ball away inside their own 30. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. They fake two handoffs. Missing the sack, throwing down, and did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Hunter Anundi with an incredible catch inside the 5. Everything just seems to be going Cascade's way early in the first quarter.
Henley had pressure on the quarterback that time, just couldn't make the tackle. He was able to evade the tackle and buy a few seconds and make that throw down the field. And they are right near the goal line once again.
First and goal, Cascade. From under center, Abrams hands off to Kenzie, and Kenzie's in for the touchdown. Two touchdowns in less than a minute for Bryce Kenzie. 50 seconds to be exact, Kevin.
Yeah, Cascade's not having to work very hard for their points. They've had two short fields after a couple of turnovers, and they've cashed in. Just the kind of start you want if you're on the Cascade sidelines.
So Abrams will stay on to kick the PAT. It's up, and it's good. So with 2:39 to go in the first quarter, Henley trails 14-0. We'll be right back. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Follow the
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So let's start here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Themselves in a 14-point hole as the kickoff is returned up to the 25.
Henley has the team. They have the line. They have the skill players to come back from a lead like this. So this will be good for the Hornets. They have to face a little adversity. I think it's important to see how they handle this.
They start from their own 27, 2:33 to go in the first. Trips right, one receiver to the left. Janney. Quick throw out to Bennett, who bobbled it, couldn't reel it in.
Complete. Intended for number 6.
That was a good ball by Janney. Bennett just could not make the grab there. And we'll see if Henley picks up the pace a little bit. They've been very methodical so far this season, but they've had a big lead. So we'll see. Now that they trail by a couple of touchdowns, we'll see if anything changes here.
Same formation. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. 2nd and 10. Janney back to throw. Under pressure. Escapes up the middle. He's going to try to run with it. Gets up to about the 33.
Drayton Johnson on the stop.
A nice run by Joe. And that's another option that the Hornets have. They haven't had to really use it yet this year. They have a good running quarterback. He's quick. He's fast. He gets in the open field.
He had 43 rushing yards on 6 attempts against Ashland last week. So 3rd and 5 for Henley on their own 33. Trips left, 1 to the right. 1:51 to go in the first. They hand it off to Whitlock. He goes up the middle, and he's just short of the first down. It's going to be about 4th and 1. I think you might have to go for it here if you're Alex Stork. No, they're going to give it to him. No need. It looked like he came up just short, but the referee's a bit generous with the spot, and they move the chains.
That was a lot of confidence to do a run on that 3rd and 5. Well done by the Hornets. First down.
Fresh set of downs for Henley on their own 38. Trips left, 1 to the right. Designed run for Janney. Tries to go outside and thrown down out of bounds. After a gain of about 5. Another nice run for Joe Janney.
Yeah, he kind of mishandled the snap, and the play didn't work the way it was supposed to. And he still got 5 or 6 yards out of that. So that's definitely a positive when you have a quarterback that can do that. Maybe 2nd down and 4.
2nd and 5, they call it. Henley ball on their own 44. 1:11 to go in the first quarter. Hornets trail 14-0. 2 receivers on either side for Joe Janney. Whitlock on his right hip. Fakes the handoff. Quick throw out to Bennett on the right side. Bennett juking his way to a first down.
Nice job by Luke. That's that play. We see it a lot. You just get the ball out to the sideline as fast as you can, and you let that receiver go one-on-one with his defender. And we have some good runners in the open field, and Luke puts the ball right at midfield for a first down.
Luke Bennett with a Division III offer from Linfield had 2 receptions for 18 yards against Ashland last week. He's somebody that they can look to when Logan Whitlock is struggling a bit. So now they come out 1st and 10, ball on the 50, trips left, 1 to the right. They give it to Whitlock. And he is brought down at the 50, and coming in a little late was one Cascade lineman. No flag, though.
Matthew Hinkle with a good tackle for the Cougars there for no gain. Now I put Henley in a 2nd down and 10. Just 20 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. They may or may not decide to run a play. We'll see.
Looks like they'll just take it to the timeout. We'll step aside, too. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. Henley trails 14-0 at Cascade, end of the first quarter. You're watching Henley football on mybasin.com, listening on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever. Wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face. I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
882-0609.
You are listening to the Henley Hornets on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
2nd and 10 for Henley at midfield as we start the second quarter. Hornets trailing 14-0 here at Cascade. Flag comes in as Janney drops back. Nobody open. He has to escape up the middle. He hasn't passed the line of scrimmage yet. He thought about throwing but had no one to throw to, and they wrestle him down at the 50. We'll see what the flag is about, though.
That flag was thrown early on in the play, just after the snap. The officials are discussing it. There's good protection for Janney on that drop back. He had a little time, but the receivers were well covered downfield. I'm not sure which way this is going, this penalty. We'll see.
Henley is moving back, so it's going to be on them. Well, now they're coming back up, so maybe not.
A little bit of confusion. We're waiting for the call.
It is against Henley, but the penalty is declined. So instead of Henley getting the extra or being given another down, Cascade will opt to keep it a 3rd and 10. Henley with 2 receivers on either side. Ball on the 50. Janney back to throw. Under some pressure. Looking downfield and zips one right down to the 30 where it's caught by Chris Janney.
Wow, that was a great 3rd down play from the Hornets right there. That line has given him nice protection. He's had time to throw, set his feet, just threw a strike to his brother. Big gainer, down to the 30. Henley's doing a nice job. A little bit of adversity here. I like how they're doing on this drive. Got some big plays, and they're executing very well.
That was a big 3rd down conversion, and it gets them down to the 31. 2 receivers on either side. Pitch to Whitlock. Whitlock goes left. Forced out at the 30. Just past the 30.
Johnson with the hit.
And it's going to be a gain of a few.
Yeah, Cascade's doing a good job of stringing out the run. Whitlock is usually able to cut up field before he gets too close to the sidelines, but they're doing a nice job of maintaining their lanes, keeping that run east-west rather than north-south.
Brings up 2nd and 7 with 11:06 to go in the second quarter. Henley still down 14-0. Trips right, 1 to the left. Whitlock on the left hip of Joe Janney. And Cascade jumps.
That's a long count there from quarterback Joe Janney, and it worked. And they'll get 5 yards.
That'll make it 2nd and 2.
Henley doing a nice job on this drive. Making some adjustments, mixing things up a little bit. Driving the football.
Trips right, 1 to the left. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Fake the handoff, quick throw outside, and that'll be enough for a 1st down and a little more. Looks like that was Mark Carpenter there on the outside, and he moves the chains for Henley into the red zone.
Another good throw from Janney. He's throwing the ball really well tonight. That time he spotted Carpenter in a hurry. He didn't waste any time. Got the ball out there, delivered it right where he needed to for another 1st down.
On the 14-yard line. 2 receivers on either side. Man comes in motion. Handoff to Whitlock. Whitlock through a hole, but not much further.
Braden Johnson with another tackle. He's had a few here in this first half. Whitlock just can't get to that second level of defenders. He's having a little trouble.
They'll call it 2nd and 9 for Henley as the clock approaches 10 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Hornets trailing 14-0. Trips left, 1 to the right. Whitlock on the right side of Janney. Janney, designed run. He goes left. He's got a couple of blocks, gets down to the 10, flag comes in. We'll see if this ends up coming back.
I like that play call. They had numbers on this near side, and everyone just took a man and blocked them. And it went for a good gain, if not for the flag.
It's going to be holding on Henley.
Yeah, one of those blocks on the outside. A little too much hold. It'll come back.
So that brings them back to the 20. 2nd and 15 now. 9:38 to go in the second quarter. Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the right side of Janney. Janney to throw. Escapes pressure up the middle. He's got plenty of room to run. Janney trying to go around the right side. He breaks one tackle, breaks another, and he's in for the touchdown. Joe Janney, what a run by the sophomore.
That was a nice run. He broke a tackle, made a nice move to the outside, showed his speed, found his way to the end zone. Good drive for the Hornets. They really needed that, and they knew they needed it, and they executed just as they wanted to. And they trail 14-6 with the extra point here.
20-yard touchdown run by Joe Janney. PAT is good for Jaime Pisano, so the Hornets cut the deficit in half. It's 14-7, 9:15 to go in the second quarter. We'll be right back. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
In COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it. But the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
More quarterback who knew exactly what to do with the football, looked very composed, and found his way to the end zone.
So Henley getting ready to kick it back. They have yet to stop Cascade on offense tonight as the kickoff is returned up past the 35 to the 37. It's a nice return for Bryce Kenzie, who's been a problem for the Hornets tonight.
Jason Kern with a nice special teams tackle. We call his name a lot on special teams. Jason does a good job.
Bryce Kenzie came into this game with 5 rushing touchdowns this season. He scored 2 in the first quarter. Now he lines up on the left hip of Nolan Abrams as Cascade comes out with 2 receivers on either side. Abrams, a quick throw to the outside and immediately met, but diving forward is Hunter Anundi as he gets up close to the 45. They'll spot him at the 44.
Montag with the coverage. Henley just not trying to give up the long ball. They'll keep the receivers in front of them. We've seen that from them so far this year.
8:40 to go in the second quarter. Cascade 14, Henley 7. Cougars with a 2nd and 4 on their own 44. Keeper. Abrams runs it and upended at midfield. Lost the ball. Henley says they've got it. Cascade thinks Abrams was down, but they give Henley the fumble recovery. Flag comes in late as Henley was coming back to their sideline.
Kyle Nichols with a big collision knocked the ball loose. Jason Kern fell on it. And that is just what Henley ordered if they could end up with a football here, and they do. We do have to sort the flag out, but it will be Henley's football.
Looks like a sideline warning on Henley, so that won't affect the spot. Henley gets the ball back at their own 47. This could be huge if they're able to come back and tie the game on this drive.
Yeah, really impressed with Henley, the way they came back, gave up a couple early touchdowns, just kept doing what they know how to do, getting themselves back in this game.
Empty backfield for Joe Janney. He's got 4 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 8:23 to go in the second quarter. Henley trailing 14-7. Janney looking, zips it way downfield and just overthrowing. Looks like that was
Bennett out there, I think. Nope.
That was
might have been Janney. Was it Chris?
PA announcer said Logan Whitlock. That wasn't him, though.
No, it wasn't.
It was Bennett.
It was Bennett. That was actually a good throw by Joe. That's the only place he could have put the ball. He was double covered, so a good safe throw. Bring up second down.
Whitlock on the right hip of Janney now as they have trips right, 1 to the left. 2nd and 10. Handoff to Whitlock. Shakes the defender, spin move, runs into his own man, but still gets across midfield before he's forced out on the Cascade sideline.
Cascade doing a nice job of kind of forcing Logan to that sideline before he wants to go there. Not able to break the big run like we're used to seeing. So he does get a pretty nice gain, but not the big gains we're used to.
Henley on the Cascade 49 with a 3rd and 5. They come out in the same formation. 8:12 to go in the second quarter. Hornets trailing 14-7. Fake the handoff. Janney runs. He's pursued. He's got the first down as he slides out along the Cascade sideline.
And that's one thing we haven't seen this year, and it's going to be an important part for this offense is Joe Janney's ability to run. And we're seeing that tonight because, frankly, they need it. I like how Coach Paschy's mixing things up. He hasn't had to show a lot the first 3 games. Now we're seeing different formations, different personnel carrying the football, and it's working for Henley.
Fresh set of downs for the Hornets on the Cascade 41. Trips right, 1 to the left. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Janney back to throw, rolling right. Looking over the middle. Caught and down to the 24. It looks like Bennett again. Kind of a similar setup as how they targeted him last time.
That was a bullet. What a pass. Again, good line play by the Hornets. He had plenty of time to throw, rolled to his right, and he threw that ball on the run. It was right on the numbers.
1st and 10 for Henley on the Cascade 23. 7:30 to go in the second quarter. 2 receivers on either side for Janney, who has Whitlock on his left hip. Hornets trail 14-7. Janney, quick throw out to his own sideline. It's Bryson Montag, and he's forced out after a gain of about 3.
It's a good play. That play keeps the defense honest. When you just take 1 step back and throw it to the sideline. If they're playing too deep, you can get your receiver out there with a little bit of space. He picked up a couple.
They'll call it a gain of 2, so it's 2nd and 8 on the 21. 2 receivers on either side. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. Keeper. Janney left side. Swarmed at the 20. 3 Cascade players in on that tackle.
Yeah, Cascade was able to find their way through the blocks that time. Joe took a pretty good hit. He's fine. And here comes another big 3rd down.
Yep. 6:45 to go in the second quarter. Henley trails 14-7. Two receivers on either side. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Janney takes it, rolls right, looks to throw, does, and it's almost intercepted. Incomplete. So that'll bring up 4th down for Henley.
4th and 8.
It looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field.
It'd be a pretty long field goal, so they will go for it.
4th and 8, Henley trailing 14-7 on the Cascade 20. 2 receivers on either side. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Looks like Janney's trying to get him with a hard count. And now Henley will call a timeout.
Timeout, Henley.
We'll take a break. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So start here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
All about safety. Dad, pothole.
Got it.
So Les Schwab Tires makes my job easy. With surfaces like brakes, steering, and alignment. Those cheap tire centers just throw on tires, and that's it. Now, I'm not telling people how to do their job. Linger. I'm just glad Les Schwab takes safety as seriously as me.
Help keep drivers and backseat drivers safe with Les Schwab Tires. Doing the right thing since 1952.
Henley going to go for it still on 4th down. 2 receivers on either side.
You are listening to the Henley Hornets on 104.3 and 960
This could be huge for the Hornets if they're able to pick it up. On 4th and 8, Janney back to throw. Looking for the end zone. Incomplete.
There's a penalty flag in the backfield.
It's on Henley. Cascade's going to decline it. That is a big stop for the Cougars.
Janney had 2 receivers in the area in the middle of the end zone. Not a bad ball. A lot of traffic in the back of the end zone. And the Hornets couldn't come up with the football. And they'll turn it over on downs.
6:20 to go. Cascade takes over on their own 20, leading 14-7. 6:20 to go in the first half, I should say. Two receivers to the left, one to the right for Nolan Abrams. And Henley jumps. So the mistakes continuing for the Hornets, who really looked uncharacteristically shaky in this first half, Kevin.
Yeah, the first quarter things did not go their way at all. I think in the second quarter, I think they played a pretty good second quarter. Tough break there with a penalty. It'll be 1st and 5.
Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Handoff to Kenzie, who lost the ball. Henley's got it. Another massive swing for the Hornets.
I think that was Cohen Redmond that popped the ball loose for Henley. Wow.
So both teams have now forced and recovered 2 fumbles tonight. And this one could not have come at a much better time for Henley.
This game's giving us the back and forth we thought we were going to see. Couple early breaks for Cascade. Now Henley gets a couple, and they've got a short field to try to tie the score.
Two receivers on either side for Joe Janney from the 14-yard line. Whitlock on his left hip. Man comes in motion. Give it to Whitlock, and he's swallowed up immediately. That was Braden Johnson. How many times have we said his name tonight?
Yeah,
getting the tackle for the loss.
It almost makes me think maybe Braden is marking Logan, because everywhere Logan's been, he's been pretty much tonight, which is a good strategy if that is the case. But yeah, Johnson's having a great first half.
That makes it 2nd and 13 for Henley. Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Janney looking to throw under pressure. It's tipped. And is it incomplete or intercepted? It's intercepted. Henley gives it right back.
That's the one thing that makes you hold your breath when you see a ball get popped straight up in the air from the defensive backfield, because that could be anybody's ball. And in that situation, Cascade came down with the football, and Henley has their 3rd turnover.
So now both teams have combined for 5 turnovers, and we've got 5.5 minutes to go in the half. I don't know about you, Kevin, but I'm starting to get a bit of Pac-12 after dark vibes from this game.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing 2 aggressive teams, and these teams know how to hit, a lot of collisions, and just a lot of talented players. So we're seeing a lot of turnovers.
Cascade calls timeout. We'll go ahead and keep it here. So Henley trailing 14-7, 5:30 remaining in the first half.
I've been a little critical of the rankings early in the season. They almost shouldn't. Cascade's not the 15th best team in the state. Sometimes the formula is working good in the back half of the season. In the front half, you don't really get an accurate depiction of work. Because Cascade's a very good team we've seen tonight.
15 in the computer rankings. They are number 7 in the coaches poll. Meanwhile, Henley, number 3 in the computer rankings, number 2 in the coaches poll with 1 first-place vote.
Yeah, this Cascade team is very good, and they're very good at home. So Henley's done a nice job. They're playing with them, only down by a touchdown.
As we mentioned, too, it's the home opener for Cascade. It's only the 2nd road game of the season for Henley. They opened the season with a trip to Seaside, who, quite honestly, did not bring nearly as intense a crowd as Cascade has brought tonight. Now the Cougars run it on first down and pick up a few. Going around the right side.
That was good first down defense. I think Nolan Sieben in there on the tackle for the Hornets.
About 3.
That's just what you want on first down.
2nd and 7 for Cascade. And we've got a whistle. What's this about? I think that's an official timeout.
Well, the official's really talking to the coach of Cascade. Something was going on over there, but they seem to have fixed it.
So 2nd and 7 for the Cougars. Inside 5 minutes to go in the first half. 1 receiver on either side. Abrams back to throw. It's batted down at the line.
Who was that? Got a hand on that? Was that Cohen? Cohen Redmond again. He's having a nice year, making a lot of plays from that defensive line spot. Now it's 3rd and long.
Cascade 14, Henley 7, 4:51 to go in the first half. Cougars with a 3rd and 7 from their own 23. They come out 2 receivers on either side. Bryce Kenzie on the right side of Nolan Abrams. Abrams to throw. Pressure immediately. Gets the ball off, but it's dropped. And that'll bring up 4th down for Cascade.
Good defense. Making Cascade hurry. Not what they wanted there. And we may see a first punt the ball game.
Looks like we will see the first punt, and it will be Braden Johnson to handle it.
Henley defense, really proud of the way they've come out after those first 2 short field touchdowns. Done a nice job.
Or rather, that was... Well, it's booted and rolls down to the 35, where Bennett picks it up and returns it. Up past the 45. I believe that might have actually been Jeremiah Butts on the punt.
Henley going to get some nice field position. They're almost at midfield. 4.5 minutes, 4:35 to be exact, left in the first half. That's plenty of time. Henley to march the ball down there and try to tie the score. This has been an exciting game.
No doubt about it. And we're not even close to being done with the first half. Who knows what the latter two quarters could have in store for us.
Right.
Henley from their own 47. Trips left, one to the right. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. Whitlock fumbles again, but picks it up. He's still going. He breaks left. And he's going to turn that into a nice gain down to the Cascade 45. Hello, Logan Whitlock.
A lot of high school players would kind of lose their composure there if they drop the football, just fall on it, just try to scramble. He kind of took a second, picked it up, brought it to the near side, picked up eight or nine. Well done by Logan Whitlock there.
Never mind the fact that that's his third fumble of the night.
Yeah, you just got to stick with it.
Exactly. Great composure there from Whitlock as he lines up on the left hip of Janney with two receivers on either side. 2nd and 2. Ball on the Cascade 45. They give it to Whitlock. He breaks up the middle. Down to the 30. Whitlock still going to the 25. As my generation likes to say, Kevin, I think Logan Whitlock has entered the chat.
Yeah, that is your generation. I have no idea what you're talking about. Logan that time found his way back inside. They've been pushing him outside to the sidelines. That time, he had a good block from Bryson Montag on the outside. Was able to cut back inside and get a big gain.
Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney at the Cascade 25. 3:26 to go. Janney back to throw. Under pressure. Whoa! That is an easy flag. As a pretty clear face mask on Joe Janney.
Yeah, that was Bryce May, defensive lineman for Cascade. You know what? He got his hand hung up in there. I don't think he meant to, but that looked violent. That was rough. Yeah, that's going to be a 15-yarder.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that puts Henley in great position. Should move them down.
Yeah,
Joe. I don't know if that's from the spot or is that from the spot or from the line of scrimmage?
I think it's from the line of scrimmage.
It is from the line, so that'll give Henley 1st and goal, down to the 10.
And Joe looks fine. Joe's fine. So
no, not the 10. 1st and 10 at the 13. So maybe it was from the spot.
First down for Henley.
Either way, Henley knocking on the door. Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. They get the call in from the sideline as the clock hits 3:10. Handoff to Whitlock. Whitlock up the middle. Whitlock down to the 5.
Nice shifty run from Whitlock that time. The Hornets making some adjustments. They've always been good at that. Coaching staff, give them some credit. He's having a little more room here in the second quarter. First quarter, not so much. This quarter, he's having more room, both on the outside and on the interior runs. And they've got that ball right down to the 5-yard line.
It's still a 2nd and 2. Just about 2.5 minutes to go. One receiver on either side. Handoff to Whitlock. Breaks left. Whitlock, touchdown! Diving over the goal line. And with 2:23 to go, the Hornets are a PAT away from tying it.
He was getting close, and he knew it, and he just propelled himself. He did a 2-footed, just a leap into that end zone. And the Hornets are an extra point away from tying this game.
Jaime Pisano with 2:23 in the first half. Gets lined up. They are set. Kick is a line drive, and he missed it. So Cascade keeps a 1-point lead, but that's all it is. 14-13 with 2:23 to go in the first half. We'll be right back. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Pacific Crest can earn a staggering 5% APY. To earn the 5%, you just have to use your debit card for purchases 15 times in a month, sign up for e-statements, stay current on any loans with us, and have a $5 savings account. There's no monthly service fee and no minimum balance requirement. It's just great checking that automatically puts dividends in your account every month you earn. You can open your account at mypcfcu.org or stop by any of our branches. No appointment is ever necessary.
The 5% annual percentage yield applies to the first $10,000 of the balance and 5.00 to 1.68% APY for balances greater than $10,000. Restrictions may apply. Membership is required and subject to approval. Federally insured by NCUA.
Score a touchdown with your local team for commercial printing, graphic design, and Marcom strategy. Smith Bates Marcom Solutions. We're your neighbor and invested in helping you take your marketing and business to the next level. Best of all, you'll find top-notch service and value from folks that want to be your MVP. That kind of relationship doesn't happen when you shop online. Visit smithbates.com or give us a call to see what we can do to help. Smith Bates Marcom Solutions. We make you look really good.
Follow the Hornets all season long on mybasin.com.
Welcome back. Cascade starts this drive from their own 15, and a quick throw out to Karsten Sandy gets them up to the 19, so it'll be 2nd and 6 for the Cougars with 1:53 to go in the first half. Henley, with really a disastrous start to this game, fumbled on both of their first 2 drives. Cascade then scored touchdowns to go up 14-0. Hornets have clawed almost all the way back to make it 14-13. As wide open and with plenty of room to run is Hunter Anundi. Gets down to the Henley 40-yard line.
That was some nice quarterbacking by Abrams that time from Cascade. He was able to elude. The rush was pretty good from Henley. They had a good rush. He was able to get out of there, though. Got out of the pocket, found some time. And he had a receiver wide open down the middle.
So now Cascade with 1:14 to go on the Henley 42. 2 receivers on either side. Abrams back to throw, launching it deep. And it's broken up. That was a fairly dangerous throw for Nolan Abrams. He has yet to throw an interception this season, but was tempting fate a little bit there.
Yeah, well, Chris Janney had good coverage, but he had help from that safety position. Luke Bennett came out of center field and put the hit, just perfect timing on that throw. Knocked the ball loose, and it's 2nd down and 10. And just over a minute to play here in the first half.
1:06 on the clock. 2 receivers on either side for Abrams. He's got Bryce Kinsey on his left hip. Back to throw. Under pressure. Scrambling and sacked. Back at the Henley 42.
Thomas Bakke with another big play. That's a huge loss.
45 seconds to go, clock running. Ball spotted at the Henley 45. It'll be 3rd and I don't even know how long. Henley calls a timeout.
Yeah, sometimes the defensive linemen don't have the speed you would think, but Bakke's got good speed, and he wasn't fooled. He kept his eye at the waist level and made that tackle. That was a sack just when they needed it, with just 37 seconds left here in the half.
I'm going to try to do some quick math here. I believe that is a 3rd and 22. No, 3rd and 23 says the scoreboard. So you're right, Kevin. A huge stand for Henley as they try to keep this a one-point game headed into the second half.
Cascade still has 2 timeouts, so they may try to work the clock. They may try to get half of this back here. Then try to put the ball where they could maybe get a field goal, or who knows. We'll see what they decide to do.
Trips right, one to the left. Kenzie on the right hip of Abrams. Abrams back to throw. Feeling pressure. Rolling out. Gets hit. Lets it go and intercepted. Headed to the sideline with room. And dragged down at the 40 is Mark Carpenter.
Mark Carpenter, another interception. He's got a load of those this year. Just a good job of reading the quarterback's eyes. Kind of saw where he was going to go with that ball. Caught that thing on the fly, made a nice return. And now Henley with 21 seconds.
He came into this game with 3 interceptions on the season. That was tied for second in all of Oregon.
Well, Henley has 1 timeout.
And that is number 4. Yeah, Henley with a chance to maybe take a couple shots at the end zone here. 21.4 seconds to go. Ball on the Ashland 41. That was the first interception that Nolan Abrams has thrown this season. Henley trailing 14-13. 2 receivers to the right as Janney drops back. Moving around to the pocket. He'll take off with it. Gets down to the 35. 15.2 on the clock. Now, if you get down to about the 20, you might be able to try a long field goal.
Yeah.
Jaime Pisano hit a 38-yarder in the season opener against Seaside.
Sure. And I'm really impressed with Joe Janney's decision-making for a young quarterback. Did the right thing there, didn't force the football, just tucked it under his arm, picked up a few yards, stepped out of bounds.
Trips right, 1 to the left. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Back to throw, under pressure, gets it out quickly. Whitlock working. Whitlock has room. Whitlock forced down at the 5 with 7 seconds to go.
Nice play call by Coach Pashy. He found an opportunity. He could get Whitlock in space. Just kind of rolled him out, maybe a wheel route to this side. And when he has room, anything can happen. And that ball's deep.
They'll spot it at the 7. 7 seconds to go. I think they have time for 1 throw into the end zone. Trips right. 1 to the left. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Janney has to throw quick. He does, and it's intercepted. Morrison Craig, and that is how we will end the first half. Cascade takes a 14-13 lead into the locker room. That was about the one thing that Henley could not do in that situation.
Yeah, that's one that Joe's played very well the first half, but that's one that he would like to have back. But what a half.
Like I said, real Pac-12 after dark vibes here. We'll take a break. Halftime report when we come back. You're watching Henley football on mybasin.com and listening on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and little league teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
It's time to celebrate with
Not corporate. At Clown Falls Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Clown Falls Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, lot attendants, and detail experts are all 100% focused on you. Local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Clown Falls Subaru, that's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events through the Subaru Love Promise. That's the kind of people they are. We're very proud of them. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're glad to know you, and they want you to be glad to know them too. I'm Rob, and this is what makes us comfortable.
If you'd like to golf on an amazing
so lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home, I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
chance to travel to the exotic spot of your choice for pennies on the dollar. 3-day and
In COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it, but the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
A million reasons to share.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon, soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Wow, all of us here work hard every day to make sure.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Welcome back. Henley trailing Cascade 14-13 here at halftime. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. And Kevin, I'm honestly not sure what you're really thinking in that locker room if you're Henley. On the one hand, after that disastrous start, fumbling on your first 2 drives and then allowing touchdowns, you're probably pretty glad to be within 1 point. On the other hand, you have an opportunity at the end zone with 7 seconds to go down at the 5-yard line, and you throw an interception, you really feel like you wasted a chance to go into halftime with the lead.
Yeah, I think the number one thing probably on both coaches' minds, you got to control the turnovers. I think the team that has the most turnovers in the second half probably won't win. And we've seen a lot. How many in that first half do we see?
These teams have combined for seven turnovers.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's too many. The coaches are not going to be happy with that. So you can control the football, not give it up, do a little better on field position. A lot of the touchdowns were made on short fields, so they didn't have to go very far. You want to limit the turnovers and then just try to execute your offenses the best you can and see how it turns out. It's 14-13. These teams score 40 a game. So for the most part, the defense has done a pretty good job. So you got to get the offense to execute a little bit better. I think the team that does that probably win the game.
Yeah, Cascade, they've scored at least 42 points in every game they've played so far. So to hold them to 14 here in the first half is no small achievement by this Henley defense.
Right, and those touchdowns were short fields. They didn't have to go very far at all. So if you could just keep them on their side of the field, make them get some long drives to score, I think Henley will be in good shape.
So a quick scoring recap. Bryce Kenzie scored both touchdowns for Cascade within a minute of each other. 3:29 to go in the first quarter and 2:39 to go in the first quarter on pretty short rushes. Joe Janney got Henley on the board with a 20-yard touchdown run at 9:15 in the second quarter. Then Logan Whitlock gave Henley the chance to tie the game with a short touchdown run, 2:23 to go in the half, but the PAT was missed. So that is where we stand here in Turner as Henley trails Cascade 14-13. Both teams undefeated. It's the home opener for Cascade, and we've said it a couple times. This Cascade crowd has really brought the energy, a lot of intensity here. Only the second away game rather for Henley, and quite honestly, this environment was quite a step up from what they faced in their season opener at Seaside.
Yeah, Henley travels well. They've always traveled pretty well. They have a good routine, and they've never really come out flat. Today might have been one of those instances where they came out and didn't do things the way they wanted to right off the bat, but they did a nice job against adversity and picked it up on defense and offense. Played much better in that second quarter. But yeah, this is we've been around the state the last few years. This is definitely one of the better atmospheres, and nobody's left. I guarantee everybody's in their seat for the second half.
We will take another break. We'll see if we can get you some other district scores on the other side. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
You are listening to the Henley Hornets on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Welcome back to Federico Field here at Cascade High School in Turner, Oregon, where Henley trails the home Cougars 14-13. Now, we were looking for scores from around the state, but we can tell you that Mazama leads North Bend 38-14 at the half. And it seemed to have bounced back nicely in their league opener from their first regular season loss in 2 years last week at Marist Catholic.
Yeah, we're getting back into league play. This is a nice. This is the last non-league game for Henley, of course, tonight. And this is a perfect game. This is just what you want. You want to play a good team on the road. Work on what you need to work on against a good team. But it won't affect your league play record, obviously. So it's just in the right spot. From here on out, Henley will face league opponents. So it's just what Henley wants. If they can get it here with a win, it's really going to help their RPI and their ranking. So just a good game for Henley to be up here. And they're making it competitive. We're at 14-13 here at halftime.
Another score, Scappoose leads Baker 41-7. Coming up on halftime, just a couple minutes left in the first half of that game.
I do have a score for Lost River as well. Second quarter at Hefner, Lost River is tied with Hefner at 6.
Lost River playing upper class in this game with Hefner.
Yeah,
and they are playing it as a 9-man game.
They've done that before. And Hefner's a top 5 2A team, so that's a good matchup there. And then another good road trip, non-league game there, scheduled for Lost River.
All right, we are just under 3.5 minutes away from the start of the second half here at Cascade. Cougars leading Henley 14-13. We're going to take another break. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
In COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it, but the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
U.S. Labor Secretary
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and little league teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Coleman Premier Realty halftime show. Second half action is next on 104.3 and 960, the Basin Sports Leader.
Welcome back. Second half, just a couple minutes away here at Cascade, where Henley trails 14-13. I'm Matt Bowling. Here with me is Kevin Petrik. And Kevin, we were talking. I said it a couple times during the first half. Real Pac-12 after dark type game here. 7 turnovers between the two teams in the first half.
I was just thinking that this game's wild, and the teams that usually prevail in a wild game is kind of the most balanced team because you don't know what you're going to need in a certain situation. You might need a defensive stop. You might need a takeaway. Maybe you need a long drive at the end. Maybe you need to do some catch-up and score quickly. So there's really there's no formula for how to win this second half. You just have to have your whole team play well, take advantage of any opportunity in front of you, and hopefully you can pick up the win.
Speaking of Pac-12 after dark, how about a few great games lined up tomorrow? Coach Prime and the Buffaloes going to Eugene to face Oregon. Utah hosting UCLA, and Wazoo hosting Oregon State. Those are 3 ranked conference matchups for the Pac-12 among a fantastic slate of games tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a good lineup for sure.
Got my Airbnb has a really nice TV room, so I don't imagine I'll be coming out of there very much tomorrow. I mean, from 9 a.m. all the way to the evening slot is just a tremendous slate of football games.
Sounds like a good place to be, Matt. I'm sleeping in my car, so. Oh, I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, sometimes you do what you got to do, right?
No, it's fine.
All right. We are just about ready to start the second half here. Henley will be kicking off.
You been to the Enchanted Forest?
Sorry?
You been to the Enchanted Forest? You know what
I
that
have
is?
not.
You drove right by it on the way here. That's all I'll say about it.
All right.
All right. Hornets will be kicking off this half to start the third quarter.
Cascade with, looks like, one receiver back in the middle. It's Josiah Hawkins. We've seen him a little bit tonight, but that's a name you might want to remember. According to some scouting services, he could be one of the top players nationally in the class of 2027. I think it's a great run here. Returns it up to the 35. Little burst of speed from the freshman.
Lane Frank with a good tackle. If he hadn't made that tackle, that might have went for a lot longer. So good work by Lane.
It might be a good time to mention Hawkins also runs track. He competed in the middle school meet of champions last spring and broke the event record in the long jump. 21 feet, half an inch. Tremendous young athlete. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Handoff goes to Kinsey, and he gets to the 40. It'll be a gain of about 3.
Kinsey with the carry, gain of about
That's the kind of start you want for the Hornets. Just make them earn those first downs. They only gave up a few on that carry. It'll be second down.
2nd and 7 for Cascade on their own 40. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Nolan Abrams. Abrams back to throw. Quickly out to Hunter Anundi. And he fights his way to the 45. That'll make it 3rd and 2 for Cascade.
Montag on the coverage. Doing what we've been seeing pretty much all season. Only giving a little bit of cushion on the outside.
Well, they'll spot it at the 44, so 3rd and 3. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Kinsey on the left hip of Abrams. They give it to him. He fumbles. Abrams picks it up, and he's got the first down. Wow. Disaster averted there for Cascade, and they turn it into a fresh set of downs.
Sometimes you just get a little luck that goes your way. That ball hopped up right back into Abrams' hands, and he was able to find enough room to get the first down right at midfield.
First and 10 for Cascade on the 50-yard line. 10:20 to go. 10:20 to go in the third quarter. Cougars lead 14-13. Abrams back to throw. Gets it off, and unable to reel it in was Andrew Kirschenman.
Ball just a little bit high. A little bit high on that little out route, about a 5-yard out. Falls incomplete. Second down.
Kirschenman was part of Cascade's state championship basketball team last year. Won back-to-back titles. He wasn't on the first one. 2nd and 10. Abrams rolling right, being pursued, tucks and runs, gets down to the 40, and that should move the chains again for the Cougars.
Yeah, we're seeing from Abrams what we've seen from Joe Danny on the Hornet side of the football. He made a good decision that time. Didn't have anybody open downfield. Tucked the ball, made a nice run and a big gain for a first down. Good decision.
Cascade on the Henley 40. 9:55 to go in the third quarter. Cougars lead 14-13. Low snap, and Abrams gets leveled. Back to, well, they'll spot him down at the Henley 47.
Luke Chase was there first. Thomas Bakke right after him.
That'll make it 2nd and 17 for Cascade.
Nice tackle by those two for a big loss.
9:30 to go in the third quarter.
Those are the plays you want. Those are the plays that end drives. You get a team in 2nd and 20, 2nd and 25. It really makes it difficult.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Abrams under center. He'll turn and hand it to Kinsey, who's met immediately.
Up the middle.
Good, strong. That was Luke Chase again with a good, strong tackle. Stood the running back straight up, drove him backwards, and now we have a 3rd and long.
Third and 17. 8:50 to go in the third quarter. Cascade leading Henley 14-13. 2 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. Bryce Kinsey on the right hip of Abrams, and we've got a timeout called by the Cougars. We'll take it with them. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
What is dedication?
40. My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Cascade with a 3rd and 17 on the Henley 47 with 8:37 to go in the third quarter. Cougars leading 14-13. 2 receivers on either side for Abrams as he drops back. Feels pressure immediately and misses. Josiah Hawkins just glanced that one off his hands. So the Cougars will have to punt.
Yeah, I think Cascade's plan there was to go ahead and take 2 plays to try to get that first down. They were hoping to get a little gainer there and then go for it on 4th. But now they're a little bit too deep. I think they will kick. Good defense by the Hornets. A nice stop to start the second half.
Jeremiah Butts punting for the 2nd time tonight from his own 42. Looks like Bennett will post up around his own 10. Fields it on the hop. Up past the 15, past the 20. Bennett to the 30. Another great return from Luke Bennett.
Stop at about the 30-yard line where Henley will pick up the first down.
Nice aggressive run back. Earned a few yards, and Henley gets a little bit better field position after that run back.
Well, he mentioned he has a Division III offer from Linfield. And, I mean, if you look at his build, 6'3", 165, that's going to carry over well to the next level. But not only that, his ability to return punts is certainly something that I would like if I were a college coach.
He does a lot of things defensively as well.
Trips left from their own 30. They hand it to Whitlock. Whitlock around the right side, fighting forward for a gain of about 6.
Yeah, late in that second quarter, then early here in the third, Whitlock's getting a little more room. He's having a little more time to make his cuts, kind of see where he's going. He has good field vision, so if there's a seam, he'll find it. Good pick up there.
Two receivers to the left for Janney. 2nd and 5 on the 36. They hand it to Whitlock again. Whitlock up the middle. Whitlock making moves. Whitlock has room. Whitlock across the 50 and down at the 46.
If Henley can establish that run game again, that'll open up a lot of things. That'll open up the short passes. It'll open up the quarterback runs. It's a good game plan here for the Hornets early in the third quarter.
So Henley ball on the Cascade 47. 7:30 to go in the third quarter. Hornets trailing 14-13. Trips left with one to the right. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. Whitlock gets the carry. Bursts through the line. Down to the 40. And close to the first down is Logan Whitlock.
He took some abuse on that run. Got hit pretty hard, but just kept driving. And he's starting to open it up now with a few good carries for good gains. 2nd and short.
Inside 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Hornets with a 2nd and 2 on the Cascade 38 rather. Trips left, one to the right. Whitlock gets the carry. Whitlock's got the first down and a little more down to the 33.
It's a good run, good push by the offensive line that time. That was just an interior run. Followed his lineman on the far side of the field. Picked up the first down.
Hornets on the Cascade 32 with a fresh set of downs. 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. They trail 14-13. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Whitlock behind Janney. They pitch it to Whitlock on the right side. Whitlock makes a move. Whitlock powers his way down close to the 20.
That was a good cut. Followed his block that time. Made a substantial gain. He's close to a first.
Henley was about an 8-yard gain.
And Henley moving the football pretty well on this drive. And they've been doing it on the ground.
Whitlock on the left side of Janney. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. 2nd and 3 on the 25. Whitlock gets the carry again. Whitlock shakes a tackle, stiff arms a defender, and he's got the first down.
He really made a couple of players miss on that one. Not the longest gain of the night, but an impressive one because it moves the chains.
That'll put Henley on the Cascade 20. Hornets in the red zone. 5:35 to go in the third quarter. 1st and 10. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. Janney to throw. Janney pump fakes, looks down the far side and overshoots his man. Not quite sure who he was going for there. Was it Chris Janney?
I believe it was Chris. He did it out and up. He made a move. Thought he might have got held up when he was making that cut, but ball was overthrown just a bit. 2nd down.
2nd and 10 on the 20. 5:30 to go in the third quarter. Henley trailing 14-13. Trips left, one to the right. Whitlock gets the handoff. And Whitlock fights his way down inside the 15.
Wow, he had hands on him right at the line of scrimmage. And he was still able to dig for about 7 on that carry. Very nice run.
Trips left, one to the right. 3rd and 2 for Henley on the Cascade 12. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Whitlock gets the carry. Whitlock should have the first down here. He's still churning his legs and down inside the 10.
It's a good push by the line. They played through the whistle that time. Kind of got held up early in the play, but they pushed through and they picked up the first. This is the pace, I think. Henley was behind a little bit early. They may have had to rush some things. This is the pace we've seen Henley do their best, I think, this season on offense. Kind of take their time, look over the sidelines, methodically march the ball. This is what they're doing on this drive. See if they can cash in here.
1st and goal from the 8. One receiver on either side. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Low snap. Janney picks it up and runs with it. Here goes Janney down to the 5.
Down by 33.
Good job just running north-south. You don't want to get fancy. Just head toward the goal line. 2nd and goal now.
4:10 to go in the 3rd quarter. Henley knocking on the door once again. Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. They hand it to Whitlock. He's up the middle and he's in for the touchdown. Logan Whitlock gives Henley their first lead of the game.
That hole was huge. What a nice job by the line. Made it very easy for Logan to give the Hornets the lead, their first lead of the night.
So Logan Whitlock, after a shaky start, has thoroughly bounced back. And Henley going for 2 here. Trips right. One to the left. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Man comes in motion. Janney tried to throw, but gets bottled up, so it will remain 19-14 Henley, but the Hornets have taken the lead with 3:57 to go in the 3rd quarter here in Cascade. We'll be right back. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Not corporate. At Clown Falls Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Clown Falls Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, lot attendants, and detail experts are all 100% focused on you. Local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Clown Falls Subaru, that's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events through the Subaru Love Promise. That's the kind of people they are. We're very proud of them. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're glad to know you, and they want you to be glad to know them too. I'm Rob, and this is what makes us comfortable.
You are listening to the Henley Hornets on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Welcome back. Cascade trailing for the first time tonight as Henley has scored 19 unanswered points. 3:56 to go in the 3rd quarter. Cougars will start their drive from their own 10 as Josiah Hawkins slipped on the kick return.
Cascades moved the ball pretty well. What's seemed to have been ending their drives or penalties or big losses. So they'll march the ball down the field, and then they'll kind of get themselves in a 2nd or 3rd and long, and Henley will make the stop.
They come out 2 in the backfield with Abrams, 1 on either side. They hand it off to Kenzie, who fights his way up to the 20. He might have lost the ball there. Henley says they have it. Henley ball. Can you believe it?
Kenzie was stood up at the end of that carry, and then all of a sudden, the Hornets, they all just went for the football, and someone pried it loose.
That is the 4th Cascade turnover of the night, 8th total. So with 3:48 to go in the 3rd quarter, Henley leading 19-14, and they've got the ball back on the Cascade 20.
It's a great takeaway by that defense.
Trips right, 1 to the left. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. They give it to Whitlock. Whitlock up the middle. He's got plenty of room. He breaks left, and he's going to walk in for the touchdown. And just like that, Henley has turned this game on its head.
Well, there's a reason Whitlock is the premier back in 4A. It took him a while to get on track, made some adjustments offensively, and this third quarter, the run game is back for Henley.
Well, in the first quarter, Bryce Kenzie scored 2 touchdowns in 50 seconds for Cascade. Logan Whitlock just said, I'll see that, and raise you 2 touchdowns in 16 seconds. PAT is up and good for Jaime Pisano. So Henley 25, Cascade 14, 3:41 to go in the third quarter. We'll be right back. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Down to the 10, where it's brought up by Bryce Kenzie. And he's upended at the 30. Flag comes in. We couldn't quite see what happened as our view was obstructed by that pole. Looks like horse collar is the call.
Yeah, there wasn't any question from the officials. They all threw their flags, so it was pretty much a unanimous decision there.
So that will tack on 15 to this return for Cascade, and it's a spark they desperately need. As seemingly in the blink of an eye, they find themselves down 2 touchdowns.
And just an inordinate amount of turnovers in this game. It makes for exciting football, but you just don't know what you're going to get. If you give Henley a short field like that twice in a row, they're gonna put some points on the board. And that's exactly what happened here in this third quarter.
Yeah, 4 turnovers from each team. And Cascade has fumbled 3 times, thrown an interception. Henley has 2 interceptions and 2 lost fumbles. Cougars start on their own 45. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Handoff goes to Kenzie, and he is wrapped up just past the line of scrimmage. A great tackle there by Jaime Pisano.
Yeah, he was in on that fumble also. He's playing little defense, and he's really playing well.
Well, we had mostly seen him in garbage time at linebacker over the first few games, but now here he is with 3:10 to go in the third quarter in a 12-point game. 2nd and 8 for Cascade. From their own 47, empty backfield for Abrams. Jets up the middle and across the 50. I think he's just shy of the first down.
Gain of about 6 yards.
Nice pickup from the Cougars there. They don't seem to be panicking. They're going to run the plays that they want to play. Still plenty of time in this game.
3rd and 2 for Cascade on the Henley 47. 2:35 to go in the third quarter.
Pisano was in there for Whitlock at linebacker, so now Logan's back in. Giving Logan a little air.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Kenzie on the right hip of Abrams. Abrams, designed run. Abrams shakes the tackle and picks up the first down. Down to the Henley 36.
Nolan Sieben had good pursuit there. Had he not made that tackle, that could have gone for a touchdown. A good tackle by Nolan. Cascade does pick up the first down, though. And now they're on the march.
Just over 2 minutes to go in the third. 1st and 10 for Cascade on the Henley 36. Hornets lead 26-14. Abrams back to throw. Almost ripped away from Hunter Anundi, but he's able to take it and run down to the 20.
That was a really close play. Those of you watching on the stream, Mark Carpenter almost had another interception. He decided to take the chance. He went for the ball. It just slipped right by him. And Cascade got the reception, but good effort by Mark out there. Aggressive play, almost had the interception. And now Cascade getting close to red zone territory here.
1:30 to go in the third quarter. Cascade right in the red zone on the Henley 20-yard line. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Abrams back to throw. Abrams runs it up the middle. Breaks 1 tackle, but not another as he gets down to the 15.
Abrams is very good at knowing when to get out of the pocket. It's hard to sense when the pocket breaks down and how much time you have exactly. But he's able to step back. He takes a 7 or 9 step drop, and then he knows when it starts to collapse, he just zips out just in time. He's done that 7 or 8 times tonight.
2nd and 5. Cascade on the Henley 15. 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. 2 receivers on either side. Abrams hands it to Kenzie. Kenzie runs into the line, doesn't get very far, but close to the first down marker.
That was a good hard run. It took a few Hornets to finally bring him down. And we're looking at a third down, about 2.
Inside 20 seconds to go. Clock continues to run as Cascade huddles. They may decide to just take this to the fourth quarter.
They're taking their time. They'll probably let the clock run out here.
And it looks like that's what they'll do. Henley 26, Cascade 14. Fourth quarter on the other side of this break. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
Why pay a local broker's commission when you can pay a flat fee to a discount?
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So start here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.com.
Tonight you'll win $220.
If you'd like to golf on an amazing golf course, head to Harbor Links Golf Course. Harbor's beautiful fairways, excellent greens, and the outstanding view are all ready for you to play. Harbor Links welcomes you to play for the day or ask about their great membership options. Harbor is more than just a golf course. With a video swing analyzer, custom club fittings, golf lessons, and many leagues and tournaments to choose from, they're the place to go. Call Harbor today to arrange for a lesson or to make a tee time. Harbor Links Golf Course.
Runs it up the middle and in for the touchdown.
You are listening to the Henley Hornets on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Welcome back to those of you listening on the radio. Nolan Abrams just scored a 12-yard rushing touchdown to get it back to a 1-possession game.
Yeah, this fourth quarter started with a key play there on third down. And Cascade put themselves right back in this ball game.
PAT is up and good for Nolan Abrams. So that cuts it to a 5-point lead for Henley. 26-21 with 11:54 to go in the game. And we just took a break, so we'll go ahead and keep it here. Well, this is A little similar to last year's matchup, in which Cascade was able to cut it to 27-22 late in the third quarter. Henley did go on to win that game 40-22. So the Hornets will be looking for a similar spurt as they take their first possession of the fourth quarter. They scored 26 unanswered points to climb out of a 14-point hole. That was the first Cascade touchdown since the first quarter.
It's nice when things live up to the hype. And we got one here tonight. Both these teams are good ball teams. They'll be there at the end. They're both very good. And we still have a full quarter here to play in Turner.
I'll tell you what, too, the energy has really returned to this Cascade crowd, who seemed to deflate a little bit after Henley went up 26-14. Low kick driven. And down at the 30. That was dangerous. As that was Jason Kern, who kind of struggled to get a handle on it.
Yeah, he is such a good special teamer. He's always in on those special teams plays. That ball was kicked hard and fast. Sometimes the best thing to do is just to cover it up, and he was able to do that, keep possession with the Hornets, let the offense do their job.
Henley put together a great drive, a really ground and pound drive on their third touchdown. We'll see if they can do it again here as they take over at their own 28, leading 26-21 with 11:53 to go in the game. They give it to Whitlock. He breaks up the middle and gets popped. Oh, my. Laying the boom there was Bryce May, all 6'3", 300 pounds of him.
Yeah, Logan took a real shot there after picking up just a couple. Henley's going to try to establish this run and finish the game.
2nd and 8 for the Hornets. 2 receivers on either side. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Whitlock spun down in the backfield.
Cascade kind of looking for this. They figured Henley would come out, want to run some clock, keep the ball on the ground. Now Henley's in a passing situation, and we'll see if the Hornets can execute.
3rd and 8 for Henley from their 30. 2 receivers on either side. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. Janney rolls to the left, throws, overthrown, and incomplete.
I think he's trying to find Chris Janney over there. Just a little high and away from him. Couldn't make the grab. And just like that, it's 4th down.
Official timeout, as it looks like Bryce May might be hurt. He's coming off holding his hand. That would be a big loss if he's unable to continue. Ranked as the number 14 sophomore in the state across all classifications by Prep Red Zone. And we've already mentioned his measurements, 6'3", 300 pounds. So now Henley's going to have to punt from their own 30. Oh, Janney shanked that. He absolutely shanked that, and it is out at the Henley 40. You can feel the momentum starting to shift back to Cascade.
Yeah, Cascade did a nice job on that defensive stand right there. A 3 and out for the Hornets is exactly what Cascade needed. You combine that with a punt that kind of went off the side of the foot, and now Cascade's in business on the Henley side of the field, 1st and 10.
10:42 to go in the fourth quarter. Cascade trailing 26-21. Trips right, 1 to the left. Bryce Kinsey on the right hip of Nolan Abrams, who drops back to throw and lets it fly for a wide open Hunter Anundi, but he overthrew him.
That's intended for Hunter Anundi.
Hornets had a couple over there playing defense. He had a little help from the safety. And the pass was a little deep. Incomplete, 2nd down.
2nd and 10, Cascade on the Henley 41. 10:38 to go in the fourth.
On those deep passes, the Hornets have done a nice job having double coverage over there. The safeties made some good decisions and found the right receiver and helped out.
2 receivers on either side. Kenzie on the left hip of Abrams. Abrams back to throw again. Pressure coming. Abrams gets out of it. Flag comes in. Rolling right and throwing. But this might come back as there was a flag in the backfield as Abrams scrambled to evade pressure. It's holding on Cascade.
Yeah, Cascade's did a nice job with pass protection that time and broke down a little bit. A few Henley defenders were in the backfield, and looks like there was a hold.
So that'll send Cascade all the way back towards midfield. They'll mark it on the Cougars 49. That'll make it 2nd and 20. And you mentioned, Kevin, those are the types of down and distance that Henley's going to want to get them into.
Right. That seems to be what's been stopping the Cascade drives tonight, either big losses or penalties. If Henley can put together 2 good defensive plays here, they'll get the ball back.
10:31 to go in the fourth. Cascade huddling. Now they come to the line. Trips right, 1 to the left. Kinsey on the right hip of Abrams. Abrams back to throw, rolling right. Abrams dodging pressure, tucks and runs. Abrams gets close to the Henley 40. So that'll make it a 3rd and manageable for the Cougars.
Yeah, Abrams just extended that play and then found a little room down the field for a good gain. That was just nice heads-up play by their quarterback.
3rd and 11. A stop here would be crucial for Henley. Cougars on the Hornets 42. 9:56 to go in the fourth quarter. 2 receivers on either side. Abrams back to throw. Under pressure. Tipped. Brought down by Hawkins, but he's wrapped up immediately at the Henley 45.
That was another situation where the ball was popped straight up in the air after hitting the receiver. This time, though, the same receiver caught the ball, but next to no gain. So that puts Cascade in a weird 4th down situation, ball at the 45.
Yeah, Henley's got their punt return team out there. Cascade huddling, not quite sure. They're lining up to run a play. So Henley has to get readjusted here. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Henley jumped.
That'll make it a little bit easier. It goes from 4th and 15. It'll be 4th and 10 now.
Moves it up to the Henley 40.
Cascade probably feels like a punt might not really give them enough field position. They might only gain 15, 20 yards. They might as well go for it here and try to pick up the first down with 9 minutes left to play.
9:01 to go. Cascade trailing 26-21. Going for it on 4th and 9 from the Henley 40. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Abrams back to throw. Pressure coming. Abrams rolls left. In pursuit. And wrestled out of bounds down close to the 35.
That was nice defense from the Hornets again. They knew where the first down marker was, and they played it that way. Picked up a few yards, but not anywhere close to the first down.
So Henley takes over on their own 36 with 8:52 to go in the fourth quarter, leading 26-21.
Both defenses for both teams doing their job these last 2 possessions. Now Henley needs to figure out how to put together a drive here, run some time off this clock.
Hornets come out. Look like trips left, 1 to the right. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Whitlock around the left side. Breaks loose up to the 45 and run out of bounds.
Nice run that time. The hole wasn't there immediately. He kind of had to wait. He headed toward the sidelines. Then he got a couple blocks, able to move the ball upfield. That's a good first down gain. That's just what you want. 7 yards on that carry.
2nd and 3. Henley on their own 44. 8:44 to go in the game. Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock takes the handoff, runs right into the line.
Not a lot there. Logan on that carry.
92.
Be a loss of a couple.
Nick Lopez.
They'll call it 3rd and 5 from the 42. Although the spot seems to be more like the 43.
It's a big down for Henley. They want to maintain the ball, keep this drive moving.
Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Whitlock takes the handoff, bursts through the line, and he's got the first down up across midfield. Up to the Cascade 47.
Just we need a first down. You get a huge one. Logan was low. You tell running backs to just get low as you can, lower than every other tackler, and he was just about that far off the turf. And if you can't see, it's about 3 inches.
Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. They give it to Whitlock. Breaks around the left side and spun down after a short gain. I think he stayed in bounds there, so the clock will continue to run.
That was Alice Kenzie with a good tackle. And that's a short gain on first down.
Brings up 2nd and 9 for Henley. 7:15 to go in the game. Hornets with a 26-21 lead after falling down 14-0 in the first quarter. 2 receivers on either side. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. They get the call in from the sideline.
Coach Pash looks like he's changing the play over there.
And now we're going to have a timeout. We'll take one, too. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
This is the mybasin.com Community Connection brought to you by Lithia Credit.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Register so they have enough food. Details are available at mybasin.com. There's a community baby shower coming up on October 7th. It'll take place over at KCC. It's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and this is for all families expecting a new baby and parents that have kids up to 12 months. More information on this event and all of the other events going on throughout the basin can be found at mybasin.com.
On the Cascade
Community Connection is brought to you by Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram of Klamath Falls.
Hornets
Say
lead
yes to adventure.
26-21.
Hi, I'm Rob Cedar,
2
General
receivers on
Manager
either
of Klamath
side.
Falls Subaru. Something really
It's a
special
quick
happened
throw.
here the other day. Some longtime customers got their 5th Subaru from us.
Getting down to
they
the
said
40.
we treated them like family every time, and they love being part of the Klamath Falls Subaru family.
Wow. All of us here work hard every day to make sure
I like
every
that
customer
decision.
feels like
Play
family.
action that
I'm
time.
Rob,
Everybody in
and
the
we're all
building
glad to know
expecting
you.
run.
Always comfortable.
Pull it out.
Never corporate.
Make
family.
it a nice little throw.
Klamath Falls Subaru open 7 days a week on Washburn Way. Stop by and say hi.
Like most backseat drivers, I'm all
right.
about safety.
One to the
That
left.
pothole.
Got it. 3rd and 5
so
from the 42.
Makes my
They
job
hand it to
easy.
Whitlock.
With surfaces
Whitlock
like brakes, steering,
just
and
gains a
alignment.
couple.
Those cheap
He
tire
won't have
just
the
throw on tires, and that's it. Now,
first
I'm not telling
down,
people how to do their job.
but
when
Henley in a
I'm
spot
just
to
glad
maybe
Miss
go
Schwab
for it
takes safety
here.
as seriously as me.
Help keep drivers
they're gonna
and
punt, it looks
backseat
like.
drivers safe with Les Schwab tires.
Right
Doing
at
the right
6
thing
minutes
since
left.
1952.
So Henley's
It's
going
in
to opt
park,
for some
right?
field position here with a 5-point lead.
You are listening to the Henley Hornets on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
And we welcome back those of you who are listening on the radio. That break ran a little bit longer than we intended it to. Henley punting from the Cascade 42, and it goes for a touchback.
Good punt that time. A little trouble on the punt last time. That was nice. Put it in the end zone. Didn't get a run back. It will force Cascade to go 80 yards here. Take the lead.
5:42 to go in the game. Cascade starting from their own 20, trailing 26-21. Two receivers on either side. Kenzie on the left hip of Abrams. Abrams back to throw. Uncorks one down the right side, and it's dropped. Hunter Anundi was the target, and he's been a problem all night for Henley.
Yeah, he's a good receiver, but, man, Montag was right there. I mean, that ball was thrown almost perfectly, but still good coverage from Henley.
He was able to get open on Cascade's last possession. Probably should have been a touchdown, but Abrams overthrew him. So 5:37 to go. 2nd and 10 for Cascade from their own 20. Two receivers on either side. Abrams back to throw. Abrams goes right side again. This time Anundi makes the catch, but he's brought down immediately just past the line of scrimmage.
And that's Montag again over there. He's doing a nice job. A lot of work over there. And that was just a good sure-handed tackle. The catch was made, but he made the tackle immediately. That's what you want. And it's 3rd and long. Chance for Henley here. Get off the field.
5:10 to go. Clock running. 3rd and 6 for Cascade from their own 24. Two receivers on either side. Henley with a 26-21 lead. Somebody went early. Flag comes in. I'll say it was a false start on Cascade. So that'll make it 3rd and 11. 4:57 remaining. Put them back on their own 19.
There have been a few just inopportune penalties for Cascade that put them in some tough spots when they're trying to drive the football. Good break for the Hornets. Time not really a factor yet. We're just under 5 minutes. You get down around 3.5, you probably have to work your timeouts or change your pace a little bit. There's still time here.
Trips left, one to the right. Abrams rolling left. Throws, intercepted! Chris Janney tackled at the 30.
Henley with another takeaway. We knew takeaways in the second half were going to be key. And Chris Janney that time, nice job again just watching the quarterback's eyes, just kind of playing back. Wasn't really playing a receiver, just watching the ball. Made a good move on it, made the catch. And the Henley offense now with the ball at the 30-yard line. Chance to extend their lead.
Again, Nolan Abrams had come into this game not throwing any interceptions on the season. Henley's picked him off twice tonight. They take over at the Cascade 30. 4:49 to go with a 26-21 lead. We'll give it to Whitlock. Whitlock up the middle. He's got room. Logan Whitlock keeps it going down to the 20.
That was a nice little misdirection play we haven't seen a whole lot. The whole play kind of started left and then cut back right. Made for a nice gain. Almost a first down, but not quite.
2nd and 1. 4:20 on the clock. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. They are running the clock down. We're to 4 minutes now, and they take the snap. Whitlock gets the carry, and he's got the first down.
That's what Henley wanted. They ran the full play clock down, snapped it just in time. It wasn't a big game, but enough for the first down. And now they've got 4 new tries to move the football, and that clock is running.
One receiver on either side. Looks like they're going in sort of a power run formation. And they are really milking the clock here. 3:30 to go. 1st and 10 on the Cascade 19. Whitlock gets the carry again. Whitlock looked like he was about to spin his way out of a gang tackle, but they do bring him down at the 15.
He did a good job keeping his feet, leaning forward, earning some more yardage. And now we're just passing 3 minutes left to play.
Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. 2:47 to go. Hornets on the Cascade 15 with a 2nd and 5. Designed run for Janney. Janney tries to leap over the defense and goes out of bounds. That's going to stop the clock.
Yeah, he tried to stay in. That was one of those tough situations where you still want to try to pick up the first down. And he was aiming toward that sideline. What do? Do you try to get the extra yardage, or do you stop the clock? He kind of did both and ended up stepping out, so the clock does stop. But he does pick up a bunch of yards, and he's about 3 yards away from the first. I like that call, quarterback run.
Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. 3rd and 3 at the Cascade 12. They give it to Whitlock. He's got plenty of room on the left side. He's got the first down and more. He's down to the 5.
Well executed play. That whole left side just cleaned out. There was just nothing but grass over there for Logan until they were able to catch up with him. But by that time, it was too late. Henley gets the 1st and goal situation.
Ball on the Cascade 6. Clock runs inside 2:15. Now down inside 2:05. At the 2-minute mark, they snap, hand it to Whitlock. Whitlock breaks 3. Whitlock carrying defenders into the end zone. Oh, not quite.
What a great effort.
Not quite.
He's just outside the goal line.
Yeah, he's like
right
down at the goal line. And that actually might be better for Henley as they have a chance to bleed a lot more time off the clock now.
What a run. That was just effort.
2nd and goal on the half-yard line. 1:30 to go. Clock's still running. Henley just standing there, waiting. Now the snap comes. Hand it to Whitlock, and Whitlock's got the touchdown.
That'll be a touchdown for Henley.
With 1:08 on the clock, Henley goes up 32-21, pending the PAT.
That is how you finish a game. That was textbook 4-minute drill at the end of a football game. Henley did a great job being composed, making no mistakes, no penalties, ran the play clock down as far as they could, continued to pick up yards, and ran the clock clear down to 1 minute and got the touchdown. Very, very well done against a good team on the road here at Cascade.
PAT is up and good for Jaime Pisano, so Henley goes up 33-21 with 1:08 to go. We'll be right back. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Thanks to Les Schwab tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So it's right here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
There's Janney, but it's hard
Score
to
a
pass
touchdown
up
with your
4
local
touchdowns.
team for commercial printing, graphic design, and Marcom strategy. Smith Bates Marcom Solutions. We're your neighbor and invested in helping you take your marketing and business to the next level. Best of all,
sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
33-21 lead on Logan Whitlock's 4th touchdown of the night with 1:08 to go. As the return up past the 30 to the 40 and forced out at the 45 is Braden Johnson. Well, I was just about to say, Kevin, under normal circumstances, you would think that touchdown would be the dagger, but twice this game, we've seen 2 touchdowns scored within a minute of each other by the same team. So
right, you've got to finish the job. No doubt about that. Chris Janney with a good tackle, preventing a run back. That would have been disastrous. So Cascade, they have exactly 1 minute. The ball near midfield.
On their own 47. 2 receivers on either side. Abrams back to throw. Abrams going deep down the right side and overshooting Karsten Sandy.
Good coverage again out there from Henley. On those deep passes, Henley, for the most part, has a cornerback in coverage and then a safety over the top helping out. So they haven't been beaten deep tonight on the pass. So that strategy has worked out pretty well for this defense. Cascade still with 2 timeouts.
Trips right, 1 to the left, 55.5 on the clock. Abrams back to throw. Quick throw to the left side, and they're trying to keep Hunter Anundi in bounds, and they do. Great job there by the Henley defense, and they force Cascade to use a timeout. We're going to keep it here. 44.2 on the clock. Cascade with the ball on the Henley 48.
Mark Carpenter did a nice job on the coverage there to keep the make his tackle inbounds, keep that clock running and forcing a timeout. So good piece of defense over there. You can expect Cascade will be airing the ball out the next few downs here, so I'm sure that's what the coaches are saying over there in the Henley huddle. Just try to knock that pass down. You don't want to get any interference calls. And hopefully you can get a little pressure from your line to make it that much more difficult. We have had a good one tonight. This has been a terrific game.
Absolutely.
Between 2 good teams. Sometimes it's doesn't seem like it when you have that many turnovers, but these teams are good. They're just aggressive and they hit hard. And you're gonna get mistakes like that.
Yeah. Henley, despite turning the ball over 4 times, looks to have won the turnover battle 5-4.
Right.
Cascade hurries to the line. 2 receivers on either side. 44.2 on the clock. Abrams back to throw. Lets it go over the middle, and it's incomplete. I'll make it 4th down and 5. So this is it here for Cascade.
Yeah, if they turned the ball over on downs here, Henley could just snap the ball, take a knee, and go home with a win.
40.4 seconds to go. Same formation for Cascade. Abrams back to throw. Lets it fly over the middle. It's intercepted. And that will do it.
There was a whistle. That play was stopped before it was over.
Well, we've got a Cascade player down. It's Wilson Herrera. And he seems to be in quite a lot of discomfort.
Yeah, that was that's unfortunate. You don't see that very often. They stopped that play. That play was not over. That play, the ball had just been intercepted, and before we could even run it back.
They're stretching him out. It looks like he just caught a nasty cramp, thankfully.
But Henley will have possession, and then they will win this game.
So Herrera gets up and is able to limp off under his own power. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that, Kevin. The play just stopped in the middle of the play.
Yep, they did, though. They blew it dead right away. I think the official might have thought that was a pretty serious injury.
Certainly good to err on the side of caution, especially in this game situation.
Yeah.
So nothing to do now for Henley except kneel it out. And what a win for the Hornets.
What a great win. What a great first 4 weeks. I mean, if you told them they were going to be 4-0 after this, I think they'd be happy to hear that. And that's exactly where they're at. Really played some good football. And that defense, they gave up 2 early touchdowns on some mistakes by the offense. And they gave up 7 the rest of the ballgame. So that defense done a nice job this entire season.
Janney takes a knee. I think he'll have to take one more. Or maybe not. Both teams are going to head straight for the handshake line as Henley digs themselves out of an early hole to come away with a 33-21 win. They move to 4-0 on the season and hand Cascade their first loss. I'll tell you what, though, Kevin. This is a really good Cascade team.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be entirely surprised if we saw this in a rematch in the playoffs.
Yep, Cascade's right there. They're right there among the top teams in the state. You can tell they got a lot of talent. And what I like about them, they play aggressively. They play hard. They play as hard as we've seen a team play this year. So they'll be there at the end. And Henley just executed when they needed to. The offense scored just like they just finished games. Like I was impressed with them last year as well. I'm just as impressed this year. They really know how to finish a football game, and they earned this win on the road.
We're going to take a break. Be sure to stay tuned for our post-game report, including an interview with our player of the game. Henley 33, Cascade 21, your final from Turner. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
If you love pets.
In COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it. But the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
Your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad?
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and little league teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between. We keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
All the big plays and great memories.
Not corporate. At Clown Falls Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Clown Falls Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, lot attendants, and detail experts are all 100% focused on you. Local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Clown Falls Subaru, that's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events through the Subaru Love Promise. That's the kind of people they are. We're very proud of them. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're glad to know you, and they want you to be glad to know them too. I'm Rob, and this is what makes us comfortable.
This is all going.
Welcome back.
Being a teenager is tough.
There's
the constant pressure to be liked.
I don't know what just happened.
Cyberbullying, high expectations, all the negativity.
There's no question. Being a teenager is tough. And what do Oregon's teens do when they want to block out the noise and clear their heads?
We play!
Research shows that teenagers who participate in high school sports have lower stress levels, more confidence, and greater self-esteem. And then there's the biggest benefit of all.
High school sports are fun.
Not just fun.
They're a lot of fun.
Encourage your teenagers to participate in a sport or activity when they go to high school. They'll stress less and smile more.
Oh, wait.
And they'll be laying the foundation for a happier, healthier future.
This message presented by the Oregon School Activities Association and the Oregon Athletic Directors Association.
Is the mixer on? Is there power there?
Check out the Klamath Basin's website, mybasin.com.
There we go.
No problem. Okay, welcome back. Sorry about that, folks. Our audio was taken offline a bit prematurely, but it's all good. And Henley wrapping up a 33-21 win after falling down 14-0 in the first quarter. I mean, you really couldn't have gotten off to a much worse start if you're the Hornets. They fumbled twice. They fumbled on each of their first two drives. Cascade was able to score on both of their ensuing possessions, so finding themselves down 14 to nothing at the end of the first quarter. I mean, just and then to dig deep. I mean, they were able to score twice in the second quarter. Both the touchdowns coming from 20-yard touchdown run by Joe Janney, followed by a short touchdown from Logan Whitlock. PAT was missed. Henley able to go into the locker room, though, trailing only 14-13. They turned that into a 26-14 lead in the third quarter. Cascade, was able to climb back to within 21-26, but Henley getting a big interception from Chris Janney and then really milking the clock to score the final touchdown with a minute to go, come away with a 33-21 win in their non-league finale.
You know, when things go sideways, like they did in the first quarter, and you're on the road, you're playing a good team, it's hard to pull yourself up out of that deficit. And a lot of teams, that's why you see a lot of blowouts. That you can't overcome that. You keep getting 3 and outs. you keep giving up touchdowns and you end up with a big loss. Henley didn't do that. They showed a lot of poise. They were down 14, didn't play very well that first 5 or 6 minutes. But that defense, I feel like the defense really stepped up and forced some turnovers of their own, got themselves back in the game, and then you give that offense just a little bit of room, they'll help you out, and then sure enough, Henley rattled off a bunch of points in a row, and it led to their win tonight. So just a good team win. When you play a good team, you just have to have all facets involved. And Henley, their offense was clicking when it needed to. Defense played well. Special teams at times very good as well. So it's a good team effort, a good team win for the Hornets, and it makes for a nice bus ride. It's a long way home.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
No doubt about it. All right, we do have a couple of scores in from other Basin area teams. Mazama with a 67-21 win over North Bend. You think they were a little ticked off after that loss last week?
Yeah, they wanted to score some points, and they did. Yeah, 67.
Meanwhile, Lost River up 20-6 over Heppner, playing up a classification. Heppner in 2A, so they're playing this as a 9-man game. But Lost River up 26 late in the fourth quarter. Or 22-6, I should say, to avoid any confusion. 20-6. There we go.
Basin area teams having a good night.
No doubt about it.
Going across the state and showing that they can play a good brand of football, for sure.
Unable to track down a Klamath Union score for you. Sorry about that. All right, we are waiting on Logan Whitlock. He is our player of the game. 4 touchdowns. Despite really looking, honestly, and I'm sure he'd agree, the worst he's looked all year on his first couple drives, fumbling, even fumbled a third time, but was able to recover and turn it into a gain, actually. I think that might have been something of a turning point for him mentally in this game, because he really seemed to sort of get back to his old self afterward. We'll be sure to ask him about it when he joins us up here in the booth.
Yeah, I think that the coaches made some good adjustments as well. He obviously had a lot more room to run in that second half. I think they made some blocking changes, and then he just had to take care of the football. Sometimes you just have to double down, get both hands, squeeze that thing, because Cascade was going for the ball. There's no doubt about it, and that was a good strategy. It paid off for them early in the game, but Henley overcame that and ended up with a 33-21 win.
Yeah, again, 5 turnovers forced by this defense, and this is not a team that turns the ball over. Nolan Abrams came into this game with 6 passing touchdowns to 0 interceptions on the season. Henley picked him off twice tonight. He also had 5 rushing touchdowns too in his first 3 games. Henley only led him in the end zone once tonight on a 12-yard rushing touchdown at the very start of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, just good all-around effort, and there's no way you're going to beat a team like this if you don't play well, because they're not going to give you the game here. So Henley earned it. They played well when they had to. Just those last 4 minutes, Cascade really just could not do anything but sit and watch. When you can end a game like that, if you can shorten a game like that, if Henley has a lead and they can do that, they're going to win a lot of games, and that's really going to help in the playoff run if you can win games down the stretch like that.
All right, we'll take a break. Logan Whitlock joins us on the other side. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
If you'd like to golf,
so lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
And it's a great way for you and your child to bond and discover the
In COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it. But the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
Some longtime customers got their fifth.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Welcome back. Joining us now, our player of the game, Logan Whitlock. Logan, I think we may just have to start calling this post-game with Logan Whitlock because it's been you 4 times out of 4, number 4. Nice touch. And again, number 4 with 4 touchdowns, but you had to shake off a couple of early fumbles. I want to kind of go back and revisit those. What was going on there on those first couple drives?
I think I'm just getting too comfortable when I'm running. I'm not really paying attention that much, and I'm starting to swing that ball because I think I'm looking too much to make somebody look stupid, not really just working on the yards. And it's something I can work on in practice. The whole day, just holding that thing high and tight, and I'm just gonna keep working on that. And I don't think I'm gonna get another fumble this year.
Now you fumbled a 3rd time, but you're able to pick it right back up and actually turn it into a gain. Was that kind of a turning point for you mentally in this game?
Absolutely. That just showed I need to get rid of the gloves. I need to get back to my bare hands, and I just really need to start tucking this ball. I mean, these cats were just going after. They're going after that ball. They knew exactly what they were doing, so I know I had to really lock in mentally before every play. And I'm just thinking, tuck that ball, don't let them get to it.
Yeah, it wasn't just you either. I mean, the team as a whole looked uncharacteristically shaky throughout much of the first half, but really mostly the first quarter. You're able to claw back, though, go in, down 14-13. What was Coach Stork's message to you guys at halftime?
Coach Stork's message is just pop them in the mouth, it's just so much that you can do at that point in time. I mean, we came into I think we got into half having the momentum, but we still knew that we were down, and it's just like, this isn't us. When you come out, we need to pop in the mouth just like how we know how to do. I
mean, you guys forced 5 turnovers, and this is not a team that turns the ball over a lot. I mean, what's the secret sauce for this defense? Just week to week, just takeaway after takeaway.
I think the secret to it is in our motto. We're born to swarm. You got to swarm that, and then you got to rip that ball out. I mean, when you're swarming, people are going to be trying to focus, trying to get people off you. And that's when they open up that ball. They start holding that loose, kind of like how I was, and then they can just pop that ball right out. And, it's also comes with big hits. I mean, we got guys out here that may look small, but they hit like a truck. So that ties into it big time.
I know you guys rolled your first 3 opponents. I mean, you didn't even play the 4th quarter in either of your first 3 games. How important do you think this is to kind of face a little bit of adversity here in a non-league setting, kind of as you get into the middle third of the season?
This game was huge. I mean, it sets the bar, what to expect for the rest of the season. No other team is really going to roll over. Now that I think about it, no other team's going to just come into a game thinking okay, we can put up a fight, but we're probably going to lose. Every team's going to come in, and they're going to be saying hey, we're shutting this kid down, we're shutting this kid down, we're shutting this kid down, and we're going to win this thing. So it really sets the bar to what to expect later on in the season.
And knowing that you can overcome a rough start, both you individually and you as a team, and kind of dig yourselves out and still go on to win by 2 possessions. I'm sure that has to be a bit of a confidence booster, perhaps even more so than if you had just come in and got another blowout.
Absolutely. I mean, it's huge just knowing that we can, as a team, come together when we're down by such a margin, and when down on our own selves, that we can just pull together, remember what we were been taught in practice, and remember our family mottos, and just get after it.
You're back home next week, back into league play against Hidden Valley. Your initial thoughts on that matchup?
Going to be a good game. They're looking to shut us out, and we're looking to shut them out. So I'm expecting a dogfight. Nothing else to expect later now.
All right, Logan Whitlock, our player of the game with 4 touchdowns. Logan, we appreciate you joining us. We hope you guys have a nice ride home. I'm sure it's always nicer when you get that win.
Thank you very much.
All right. We are coming up on the end of our post-game show. Kevin, any final thoughts?
No, just you have 3 blowouts, and it's just a little different. Just a little different feeling about the game. Of course, you did well. You win by a lot. You feel good. This game is satisfying, and this is the type of win you want to have on the road against a good team. This is going to go a long way for the second half of this season. And to be fair, Cascade also, I think, gained a lot from this game, too. They didn't win tonight, but they also did some things very well, played hard football, and I think this game's also going to do well for them as they progress through their league play as well.
No doubt about it. All right, one more time from Federico Field. Henley 33, Cascade 21. Hornets move to 4-0. They head back home next week, resume league play against Hidden Valley. We will be there, of course, as we will be through the entire season of Henley football. For my partner, Kevin Petrik, and our cameraman, Christian Shira, I am Matt Bowling saying good night from Turner. You've been listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Tonight's coverage of Henley football